I didn't make a video last week because I looked at the card value, the name value, and I was like, man, this shit's trash. Then the card actually ended up being entertaining. So, the UFC is returning to the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. How you doing? How's your mama? How's your family? We're going to be breaking down UFC Vegas 107. Blanchfield versus Barber. Oh, boy. Let's get into... Opening the card, we got Mederos versus Balaji Oki. I'm actually going to pick Balaji here. Markel's pretty technical, uses his leg kicks well. Good straight shots. He was, I remember before his last fight, I was watching his regional fights, and I was pretty impressed with the speed and the way he utilizes his leg kicks in his range. But I think Balaji's actually going to be quicker in this fight. I think he's going to be more dangerous, more power on his side. Markel's takedown defense isn't as good as I thought it was. So I am going to pick Balaji by decision. I want to run through this pretty fast. We got Holobaugh versus Jordan Leavitt. Nobody likes Jordan, okay? I'm picking Louisiana's own Holobaugh. The only way he loses this fight is if Jordan gets him down in a compromised position, which is possible. Jordan has really good BJJ, but bad wrestling and bad striking to set up his bad wrestling. I'm loving Kurt at plus 140. He's a scrapper. Tough as nails. Solid boxing and offensive wrestling. His takedown defense isn't the greatest. He could use some work. But I think knowing that there's zero threat on the feet coming from Jordan Leavitt, off of a long-ass layoff, by the way. I don't think he's fought since 2023. It'll allow Kurt to land, move, and win on damage. He's going to damage Jordan Leavitt. He's going to make Jordan Leavitt look very uncomfortable in there. He's going to bully Jordan Leavitt. I do believe that. Give me Kurt all day, plus 140. Spoiler alert, I did play that. Now we got Elliott versus Brahimaj. I mean, Elliott has to be the pick, right? Huge favorite, and it makes sense. Great cardio, very well-rounded. Chin could be a bit questionable at times, but he never gives up on himself. He's a fighter. I mean, he's fighting a good grappler in Brahimaj, but Brahimaj is really, really comfortable off of his back. He accepts too many positions, and he doesn't really fight. He doesn't really scramble. He just accepts a lot of positions and allow his opponent to dictate where the fight goes, and I think that's exactly what wants to do. So I'm going to be picking Elliott by decision. We're moving fast. Vieira versus New Orleans' own Chiasson. Listen, too much Vieira love here. I'm rolling with New Orleans. I'm rolling with Chiasson. She's long as fuck. Way better striker than Kellen. I feel Kellen's only skill is being big. She's big. Ooh, she's big. She's strong. Fuck all that. I like the long, straight shots from Macy and her BJJ improvements. I think she's another fighter that's improving. Mario Bueno Silva was giving her a tough fight on the feet, but at the end of the day, people say the cut is what caused... What she only won because of a cut. She caused that cut with a very, very nasty elbows, which is something she's been working on. Working on her elbows in close. Working on her wrestling. Working on her BJJ. Working on her striking. I like Chiasson a lot. Especially in Vegas, I think Vieira is just taking you down and trying to lay on you and stall kind of style isn't going to get it done. Next up, we got Jeremiah. You're going to let me do this. All right. We got Jeremiah Wells versus Andreas Gustafsson. And I really don't know about this fight. I mean, Andreas is a good grappler. He's wild as fuck. Jeremiah is low level. He's very well rounded. He's just not great at anything. Really not that good at anything. But he has big power in his hands. Same for Gustafsson. They both will throw wildly. It should be a throwdown. It should be a nice showcase. Show some good scrambling. I'm staying away at all costs as far as betting-wise, but I'm going to pick Gustafsson. The thing about Gustafsson, I just don't know. I just don't know enough. You know, we haven't seen him in the UFC yet. I know he's a madman. I know he's a good grappler. I know he's looking to do damage, but Jeremiah Wells has been around the block, and he wants to do the same thing. And I don't know if the experience will be able to take him over Gustafsson. I don't know. I think Gustafsson's probably the better fighter. But I don't know. I think it's going to be whoever imposes their will more, and I'm going to pick Gustafsson to do that. Now we got Filho versus Alan Nascimento. Is it Jaffo or Haffel? I'm going to say Haffel. We're going to say Filho. Filho is really well-rounded. Comfortable going forward and moving backwards. Wherever the fight goes, he's pretty comfortable. He's very, very well-rounded. Good striking. Great on the mat. Alan's a decent grappler, but Filho has been really active and is dangerous as hell. Like, Alan is tough. He's never been finished in his career. And Filho has finished damn near all of his opponents, so it could be a problem there. Like, if Filho can't find that finish, how does it go? But we just saw him go to a decision. I like his IQ. He didn't gas himself. He showed me that he wouldn't gas himself out, relying on that finish, that he can fight a decision, and he does have cardio in the tank. And for that, I'm going to pick Filho to win on damage. Moving on. We're moving through it. We got Zachary Reese versus Dusko Todorović. Sure. Two questionable chins fighting each other with big power. Zach has unbelievably low IQ. He'll never be on another parlay slip ever again. Unbelievably low IQ. He's way too content on his back as well. He's another guy who accepts these positions. Dusko's pretty technical with really high volume. Zach should win, but I can definitely see him fumbling this. Like, huge fade here as far as betting wise. But I'm picking Zach. Good on top. He does have crazy power, but he has a questionable gas tank. Like, I'm actually going to pick Dusko. I'm going to pick Dusko. I don't trust Zach's IQ. And I think he will get out-volumed when it is on the feet. And it's all about if Zach fumbles. And I do think he fumbles. I think in Vegas, once again, I think Dusko's going to throw more, look like he's doing more. Zach does have big power, but it's not a lot of combinations. Zach has big power, though. And Dusko's chin is questionable. So is Zach's. And Zach finds ways to lose fights. That's the thing about him. So I'm going to pick Dusko to beat Zach Reese. Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopes. Should be a good matchup on the feed here. But I don't know, because Bruno Lopes did show in his last fight against Magomed Ghaziasulov that he does have wrestling in the back pocket with 5 takedowns in that fight, I believe. Dustin has decent power whenever he lets his hands go. Boring fight in Tampa, I was there, against Vitor Petrino, where he found a late knockout on the verge of losing a decision. He was about to lose a decision to Vitor Petrino. Bruno's going to be putting Dustin on the back foot immediately and try to out-volume him. And that could make Dustin a bit gun-shy. Like, he's one of those fighters on the back foot. He's just not that great. He wants to be able to dictate where things are. He's a good kickboxer, great kickboxing experience. But with Bruno taking the center, pushing Dustin back up against the fence with volume, not a lot of power coming back from his side. But with the volume, he does have power, but Dustin can't be chinned. Okay, I'm going to roll with Bruno Lopes, low confidence. I think he's going to outwork him. I think he is going to make Dustin have to defend some takedowns, which he probably will be able to defend. But it's going to make him work, and Bruno's just going to be all over him. I'm picking Bruno Lopes. Now we got Billy Ray Goff versus that guy. That guy is a hard-hitting striker, can be taken down, and can be held down. I went through his recent fights before the UFC. He has a KO victory over a guy who is 0-13. And that guy was finished in all 13 losses. Mickey Mouse. I'm going to pick a dog. And I don't mean betting odds. I mean a dog. Billy Ray is a dog. Well-rounded as hell. Tough as they come. Good boxing combinations. Come forward and will shoot. That guy is a statue. Easy pickings. Trust me, easy pickings. Very parlayable. Very, very parlayable. Speaking of playable, Mateusz Gamrot. Your time has come. He's facing casual parlays. This week, casual parlays. Leavitt Klein. Leavitt Klein is going to chin Mateusz Gamrot and knock him out within 2 rounds. Leavitt Klein's going to come out. He's going to take the center. He's going to make Mateusz fight on the back foot, which makes his wrestling not as good. But he does have good wrestling. Doesn't have the greatest control because he's getting so many takedowns in the fight. Doesn't have great control. He's not great at holding people down. And he's not a submission threat. So Leavitt Klein will be able to build his base, get to his knees, and stand up without worrying about Mateusz locking in a body lock, taking the backpacking him. Leavitt Klein's going to let his hands go. And I'm picking Leavitt Klein the same reason I picked Dan Hooker to beat Mateusz Gamrot. Leavitt Klein is so much cleaner and sharper than Dan Hooker. Hits like a truck as well, but you don't really have to hit like a truck because, well, I ain't going to say hit like a truck because he hasn't been finishing these guys, right? But Mateusz Gamrot is a guy who's chinny, especially early in fights. Like, he can be hurt early in fights. He has to build into the fight. I don't think the nut hugging. Mateusz does have a nice jab. That's about it. Leavitt Klein's going to be ripping him to the body. And then I'm talking about combinations. I'm all over Leavitt Klein. I got him at plus 120 for the casual parlay. He's down to plus 110. You better get in on it quick. Now let's move on to the main event. We got Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber. I'm going to pick Erin Blanchfield. She's been active, stupidly young for how good she is, and we're seeing the improvements from fight to fight. Her striking is getting better. I picked Rose Namajunas to beat Erin, and Erin literally beat Rose in every aspect of the game. Very impressed me a lot. And I think she just bests Maycee Barber in every spot of wherever the fight goes and wins the decision. She's fought the much higher competition thus far. She's rapidly improving, like I said. As far as Maycee, I don't think she's improving as fast as we like. She's been dealing with injuries. She's been having a layoff. I remember she tore her ACL in the fight, still pulled through. So she's tough as fuck. She will bite down the mouthpiece. She will try to make it happen. She will not give up on herself. But I think Erin Blanchfield is a dog as well. And I think Erin Blanchfield is just a better fighter. We ran through that very, very quick. Like, comment, subscribe, share. This is somebody I know that enjoys just like you did. Tomorrow, I think I'll do a JDM video. And then the bet to drop probably Thursday. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here, man. Yeah.